Euro USD Weekly Recap from the 10th of June through to the 14th of June. Welcome to another video of Freedom Forex Trading. My name is Dylan, just going to be going through and breaking down the price action from the week. So getting straight into it, you can see pretty well straight off the bat. This is Monday here. So we're in a really interesting, quite a tricky spot coming into the week. Basically, the issue and reason for that was just with what we had on NFP the Friday before. Friday NFP that just absolutely melted before even really our session started. We melted, over 100 pips. So yeah, massive push. Monday, we were pretty well coming into the week, just basically waiting for price to build a bit of structure and be able to give us basically some ability to be able to have something to work with to gauge a bias. When you melt that hard coming into a week, it just makes it so tricky to be able to actually go off anything and to get your confirmations. Yes, we knew we had a high chance of buying, given that price was pushing down towards a significant area, had taken a significant piece of structure, and obviously was bearish from that push all the way down there. So knowing that price was bearish, we could expect for price to do a retracement. Just very hard to catch that retracement. So what we saw for the session on Monday, I'll just drop down to a lower time frame a little bit. All right, so basically what we had price coming in during Frankfurt, we just consolidated. So it gave us this very sideways price action here. And then this is the start of London Open. So lots of liquidity built up here, which is really, really nice. But because we had that liquidity with no inducement and nothing to induce up inside of here, we couldn't really do anything with the price action. So basically what we saw is we saw price come in above a significant area, do a bit of a push up, bring in some buyers, aggressively take the buyers out of the market, and then start to form a little bit of structure here. Now, we were reacting out of a high probability area. Unfortunately, we just didn't get an entry model that allowed us to be able to take the trade. And you find this sometimes with EU, it doesn't manipulate in the way that we need to. When it does, it's very, very clean, but a lot of the time it doesn't. So basically what we had was price come in, mediate, push out, come back down. I was looking for some inducements inside of this area, but we didn't get the inducements that we needed. So there wasn't any trades that presented. By the time price did start to drop back down a little bit further inside of this little push here, I was starting to get interested in price, but it just consolidated for too long in this area, got a bit late, and the chance of me catching a high probability setup started to decrease. So I went off and called it a night. So Monday was a very, very slow day, slow start to the week. However, what we then had was throughout the night, we did get the push up that we were expecting. Asia session consolidated a little bit, didn't give too much of a push or anything like that, which was great. Unfortunately, leading into Frankfurt, we had already done the inducement during the Asia session that I was looking for. There wasn't any entries inside of here. And then as Frankfurt moved like this, it invalidated any setup from this high to be able to catch the sell back down. There is some continuation models that you can look to use inside of this area that we do teach inside of the academy. But unfortunately, yeah, it's not one that I took. First trade of the week always has to be the bread and butter trades, always has to be the ones that have the highest probability, so didn't catch those setups. From there, coming into New York, price had obviously pushed down all day. So we were expecting a reversal for our New York session. Had a major inducement of this area, very, very significant inducement of a strong high probability area and a very significant piece of structure. Unfortunately, we did get a trade here, but it was a break even. It didn't quite get the follow through. Price then decided it wanted to consolidate for a little bit more before doing that push. So good risk management on this trade. The entry was right in here. Break even was at the mitigation of this supply point. So yeah, unfortunate that one didn't carry on through. That was a really, really nice setup. A+ in terms of the entry. Every single day if that trade presented, I would take that same trade. Very, very clean. This one, unfortunately, just wanted to push down ever so slightly. It was only an extra 1.5 pips before price started to move along. So that was that. And then this is where things got a little bit interesting. So Wednesday we had CPI. So coming into London straight away for Wednesday, we were automatically a little bit hesitant to try and trade. what we find a lot of the time before these big news releases like NFP or CPI is price likes to consolidate and get very choppy, build a lot of liquidity before it does the move. So straight away, we're hesitant. But what we did have, so we had price giving us signs that we're ready to start retracing. From there, we were looking for price to potentially come back down here to then be able to look to buy it up. So we wanted our mitigation for obviously looking for the buy. Didn't get the mitigation. Price just consolidated a bit in this area, which isn't out of the ordinary with CPI coming up. So our London session, which is open here, we didn't have anything that was induced or anything significant enough to be able to take a trade. Obviously, this is the low, this is the high. So price is sitting inside of this internal 15-minute low and high. So all of this stuff inside of here is really just garbage. That's just noise in the market that I won't actually use to trade with, as it doesn't hold a lot of probability or significance. So there's no point in me actually putting too much focus on it. From there, obviously, price didn't do a lot, sort of sat around, started to creep its way up. No way of being able to get in on an entry. I did look for a sell out of here after inducing here, just no entry again, which is unfortunate. As price is obviously starting to step its way up, made sense for price after inducing here to step back down a little bit, potentially taking out this low, potentially even coming into here for continuing to the upside. But we didn't get that price action, and there was no entry that provided in there, which is okay. From there, CPI, massive, massive push. So New York, complete write-off. Now, scrolling out a little bit. So coming into the session on Thursday. So this is Thursday, our Asia session. This is where we were for London. You can see where we're positioned, right? Inside of this leg, dead in the middle, we've got this leg that we're working inside of here with that break there, this low to this high, in this high to this low, bearish, bullish, 4 hours also bullish from way down there to up there. So we were very mid-range, very, very mid-range. So straight away for me, I wasn't trading on Thursday on EU. Wasn't even looking. Did not even worry about it. To me, it's just not worth trying to catch a trade. The only thing that I was looking for was, okay, cool. We've got this internal break here. We're positioned here. I know that we're bullish here, but we're bearish here. So I was expecting the price to potentially come up, mitigate this area to then give me a sell to the downside. Price just didn't want to do that. Price just started to creep its way down before, again, another news release came in and just absolutely melted price. So tricky thing about this week was the news releases. The news releases basically led to no opportunities to be able to catch any trades. Made it very, very difficult. Don't want to be trying to catch them, and that's okay. This happens sometimes. NFP last week and CPI the week just gone, they had massive, massive impacts on the market. Some of the biggest that we've seen in ages. This CPI push was absolutely huge, so it made it very difficult. So it's just a time we have to sit on your hands. When you've got price that's moving like this, you can't do much with it. Even last week, we got these massive pushes, just made it very difficult. There wasn't a lot we could do. So Friday, again, same sort of thing. Friday was actually really interesting. Was expecting for price to either respect here, induce here, and start to work its way back up. But we just had this crazy, crazy bearishness. It just didn't stop melting. When you've had this much movement in a matter of 2 days, well, 1.5 days it was at this point, it's just insane. Trying to take a buy is just so, so risky. The only time I looked for a trade on EU was as price had slowed down here, pulled back a little bit, and then induced this low. Gave me some actual structure to work with. I was then starting to look for buys in this area where that red box is, but there wasn't any entries that presented, which I wasn't surprised about. I wasn't expecting there to be a trade after this much of aggressive price action. No liquidity left in the market. The market has just absolutely tanked. So there wasn't really anything we could do with it. Really, for this week ahead, on EU, I'm actually expecting another slow week or a slow start to the week. Just need to build up some structure. You can see the market has just moved so much. All of this is really healthy price action. This is unhealthy price action. This is unhealthy price action. So we just need the market to settle down a little bit. Like these moves were back in April. So, 2 months ago, even around the same time, actually, which is really interesting. The same time of the month, I should say, around the middle of the month. So we just need price after doing all of this to just build some more structure, get back to its usual structure, which is this. So then we can look to take some trades. So yeah, hopeful for the week ahead. We'll see what it presents. But as always, we're going to be watching the charts and seeing what we can get our hands on. Thanks for watching.